Well, welcome back everyone. You catch me now in my garage. I've been daily driving the car for a couple days. Every time I take it back and forth to work, I get there in the morning, I take the tune out of it, I make the adjustments that it wants, put it back in, and I do a couple other little things with like throttle enrichment and stuff. Turns out I've had to add a ton of fuel to a lot of the map and the throttle enrichment. I was going out to Josh's tonight to start welding the floor up, do the safety loop and all that stuff. And I was leaving work and there was a weird clunk, and then all of a sudden, there was a weird clunk and I didn't think too much of it. So then I pulled out on the road and I punched it in first and like, oh yeah, I've got the dead spot figured out. Grabbed second gear, punched it again, and I can hear a tire squeal. I look out the back, and I can feel a tire squeal, and I let off and the car kind of does a whoop-de-woo and straightens out. I'm like, okay, well, it was taking off sideways, all that horsepower. So then I pulled off of the side road onto the main highway, and I did the same thing again. I grabbed first gear, second gear, and it was smoking the right-hand tire, and the car was just getting all out of sorts. Like one tire was driving and one wasn't. So then I get to town and I go to turn onto my street because I was stopping and grabbing some parts. And all of a sudden it doesn't hop going around corners anymore. And every time you give it throttle, the whole car gets unsorted. So I thought I broke a 28 spline axle. They're 28 splines, they're weak. And I welded the diff, and everybody said if you weld the diff with 28 splines, you'll break them. So I got on the horn, called around, and found a place that thinks they have axle shafts. They just needed lengths. So roll the car into the garage and pulled the axle shafts. Well, neither axle shaft is broken. This one has some markings on the end of it, and this was the left-hand side. So I think my weld's broke in the carrier. But on a side note bonus, turns out this is a large bearing rear end. I never measured or paid attention before, but being a large bearing, I can put 31 spline axles in. And being as I got to order a center anyway, I might as well throw 31s and put a 31 spline center in. So the gear center in Red Deer is currently looking up axle shafts. There's a guy staying after hours making a little overtime for me. He's seeing if he can find axle shafts, and he's pretty sure they got a TrackTribe and a bearing kit. So I still haven't welded up the floor, still haven't hung the sway bar, still haven't done the drive shaft safety loop. I'm still working on the tune. I won't be able to drive it for probably at least 2 days now. And now I get to spend a couple grand rebuilding my 9-inch. But at least if I put a TrackTribe in and some good shafts with new bearings, new seals, it should be all right. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I can probably do the safety loop and stuff in the garage here. I got it up enough I can get under it. But the floor might have to wait until Saturday, just before we leave, or Friday night, or something, I don't know. But I can do the floor and the sway bar mounts the same day, and maybe that'll be the extent of what gets done. I don't know. But I'm scrambling here. It is Tuesday night at 5:30, and Sunday is test and tune. This thing's never been down a track, and I still don't have my wide open throttle tune figured out. Most of the time I can't get it to rev above 4,000 RPM. It starts running out of fuel, starts running like crap. So yeah, I guess this is what we're doing now. Maybe tomorrow I'll go get the welder from Josh's, and maybe I'll do the floor in here. Actually, that makes sense to work on it in the garage here. The girlfriend said that she doesn't need her truck in here for a couple days. So if I need to use the garage, I'm good. So yeah, I think either later tonight or tomorrow, I'll rip out to Josh's. I'll grab the welder, I'll grab the gas bottle, the grinders, the tools, and come back here. Because the other thing is I haven't packed the trailer or hooked the trailer up or fixed the taillights on the trailer yet. So I don't know. There's a lot to do and not a lot of time left, and I'm almost at a standstill here. So maybe now that it's in my garage, I can do stuff like mount the safety loop and little things in here. But if I do anything else, I'll catch you up on it. All right, so I'm back in the garage, back at it. I had Jess come out, give me a hand. We got the drive shaft safety loop put in. It's a little close to the drive shaft. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I might have to modify it a bit. But for now, it's done. Anyway. So I'm gonna start in a minute here getting the third member out. But first of all, I have a far more important job to do on the car. I need to get it deckled up with the Barkley Built sticker and the Yacht Club sticker. And of course it does still have the old OG Barkley Built sticker, and I believe this one was either red or blue, but it's just faded to black and white now because it's been on there for like 4-ish years out in the sunlight. Well, now that the car's completely undrivable, the important things are done. We got all of our stickers on here. Well, not all of them, of course, but you know, we got a couple stickers on. You know, I'm sure we'll acquire a few more next week. And then big Barkley Built stickers. Really high quality sticker, but I'm not sure I'm too happy with the job I did on cropping it out, but it'll work. And of course we're repping Aces on here in a couple spots because honestly, if I knew how to tune better than I do, this system would work amazing. And I've just only been fooling with it, you know, less than a week, and I'm getting close. So if I can figure it out, anybody can, really. One thing about working at the home garage instead of at Josh's is most of my tools are currently at Josh's house. But luckily, I do have 1 or 2 hand tools left to struggle here. Also, who hung this exhaust? It's right in my chest. But just pulling the drive shaft, then I'll start pulling bolts off the third member, and we'll see if we can make a bloodbath in the garage. Okay, I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but see if I can get this thing split and make a bloodbath here all over the garage floor. There we go. Look at that. That's working. Thankfully. All right. 1 9-inch out of the car. Well, it's not full of chunks, so other than the fact I silicone the gasket on, cleanup won't be too bad. All right, there we have it. The third member is out, and hopefully I get a phone call tomorrow morning, and I can get the parts right away. If not, I've had 3 people reach out already in the 4 hours since this happened with parts or whole third members for me. So I got really good friends. That's all I can say about that. But I'm hoping that the Gear Center can get me at least a TrackTribe for a 28 spline, or depending on price and if they can get them, 31 spline axles and a 31 spline carrier. So I'm gonna call it a night because I'm fat, I'm sweaty, and without parts and tools from Josh's, there's really not much else I can do here tonight. So I'm gonna go in, take a shower, and then maybe watch some TV with the girlfriend, and we'll catch you tomorrow, where hopefully I'm either running to Red Deer or running to Josh's to grab parts and tools. So I'll catch you tomorrow. Well, I brought the 9-inch to work, got it all tore apart. I think I found the problem. I don't think that the side gears are happy after their mild heating up with the welder. But you know, I'm not sure. There's only It's only a couple pieces, so you never could know what the real problem is. Really. Oh well. Oh, look at the metal chunks. Yeah, it's a good thing this is getting changed out now. Glad it happened now, not in the middle of miles. Welcome back, guys. We're back in the garage. It's Wednesday night now. It's already 7:30. After work, I had to run out to Josh's and load absolutely everything I could into the back of my car. Like for parts, tools, welder, the metal plate, the grinders, because I don't know if I'll have enough time to go out there, get the trailer ready, get everything packed in the trailer, then come back here and pack everything in the boxes I need. So if I bring the boxes home, I can get all the Milwaukee pack outs packed, get the tubs packed, get everything ready to go on the trailer when hopefully Saturday I can go pick up the trailer. Because as you know, axle, right? Center section went, well, axle shafts I can't get in time, so we're going to stick with the 28 splines. There's nothing wrong with them. They're in great shape still. The bearings still feel good. They look good. So I couldn't get the true track I wanted in a 31 spline or a 28 spline in time. I could order one, but it looks like 3 weeks to get. I can get one on Amazon, but it shows up a week after I leave. So I'm getting a clutch type Auburn limited slip diff. I am not a huge fan of clutch type diffs myself. They work fine enough. I just don't like them as much as a true track, but it'll be plenty for this car. So I should have that tomorrow night, late. The girlfriend's going to go to the city and pick it up at the end of the day tomorrow, and then bring it back tomorrow night after she's done a work event. So Friday morning, the brother-in-law and I will get the center, the third member reassembled and get the preload and the pattern set. And then Friday night, I can get it in the car so that I am ready to go Saturday morning and pick up the trailer. So that's where we're at now. I'm just about to start pulling the carpet to patch the floor, and I'm going to get the front end in the air here so that I can do the sway bar mounts, because those are the big deals that need welded. There's a couple spots on the front frame horns that need welded, but the only stress out there is the rad, so they'll be fine. They're welded both sides and top completely. There's just a couple spots on the bottom I couldn't get. And I'm not a good welder, and I'm really not a good overhead welder, so we're gonna do what we can, get the sway bar mounts done, and then, like I said, I gotta pull a couple of bolts out of the seats. Probably gotta pull the seats out completely, honestly, to get the carpet out, and then I can patch the floor and mount the shifter boot. So I'll probably get started pulling seats in case I need the girlfriend to come out and give me a hand. So I'm going to go in here. I'm hoping to have it all done and wrapped up before 10 o'clock tonight. So we'll see how things go. But I'll get back to you after I get some progress made. Well, I've been working for hour and 15 minutes here. I'll show you what we got going on. So I cut more of the floor out and bent the tunnel a little more to make sure I had ample clearance. And then I made my first piece, bent it, got it in, cleared for the shifter. I'm gonna have to widen this cut a little more here, but that's not a big deal. I can finish that up after. And now I've got my second piece rough cut, and it needs to go in here, get tacked in, bent into place, and then welded up. And then I can build my back piece to bring the tunnel back in as tight as I can. My carpet is not going to fit good at all. I might just cut the center of the carpet so it can drop down around it and go with that. But anyway, I'm going to start buffing off some paint, get back to welding, and I'll catch up with you guys probably when I've got the tunnel all built. All right, it's 11:15. The tunnel has been covered in sound deadener. I put the pieces that remained of the original sound deadening back on the floor because I only had about 4 sheets of that stuff left from the Beetle. And I never bought any for this because I didn't even think about it. And I just don't, number one, I don't think I'd have it in time. And number two, this should be good enough. If it's a little thick under the driver's floor, I'll pull some of the deadening back out and I'll order another box of that stuff. I think it was only like 50 bucks. And I did everything in the Beetle and had that left over out of one box. So I'll lay the carpet back in here, put the sill plates back in, put the shifter on, and put the shift boot on, and see if I can't get the, I'll see if I can shift all the gears without touching the edges of the tunnel. I should be okay. I did test it and cut the hole a little bigger, but I think I'll wait to put the seats in until tomorrow when I've got help, because if I remember correctly, they weren't fun to get in on a hoist, so I doubt they'll be any better when I'm 2 inches away from the bolts. So I'll quick throw the carpet in, throw the sill plates in, and do the shift boot, and then I'll probably call it a night. Okay, I've been tinkering around for another, I don't know, half hour. I got the driver's seat back in. I was going to remove the spacers in the front side of the seat, but those bolts are pretty rusty, and I don't feel like breaking bits and breaking bolts. So I'm just going to leave them sitting at an angle. I sat in the seat now that I can, well, there was a bolt that wasn't tight in the back of the seat too. Tighten that, now the seat slides back all the way. So it's actually pretty comfy. We'll see how it is with the helmet. I might have to slouch a little bit. I'm happy with it. So I pulled the literal wooden blocks out of the front, or out of the back, sorry, of this seat. And I'll maybe throw it back in too now. Welcome back, everyone. It's now Thursday night, just before 5. I got parts today, so we have a differential to put back together. I couldn't get a TrackTribe like I wanted in time, so I had to pay as much or more to get a clutch type diff. I'm not a fan of clutch type diffs, but I was between a rock and a hard place, so at least I will have a good rear end. It's much better than what I had, so I'm still glad to have this. It's just not what I had wanted. So yeah, I guess it's time to clean up the pumpkin here. Get the mounting flange all cleaned up. Then we'll put a fresh bead of RTV on it. We'll slide this under. We'll get this stabbed in. We'll stab the axle shafts in, the drive shaft. I had to steal the pump from work because with the body on, it's going to be a little hard to fill this, so I'll just have to dump my oil into this, pump it in, and then dump this back into my jugs. Kind of a pain, but not the end of the world. At least I have this at my disposal. So I'll get this diff filled, or cleaned, put together, filled, and then I'll have to look at my list and see what we want to tackle next. But it may be just get all the boxes packed up and ready to go on the trailer, and then tomorrow night after work go pick up the trailer and get prepared for Sunday. But we'll start with this and we'll see where it leads us. Okay, so as you can see, the wheels are back on. The diff is all back together. I put the friction modifier in, I filled it with oil, the drive shaft's on, the axle shafts are in, the wheel spacers are torqued, and the wheels are torqued. I will also say this. Our frame is pretty strong. There's not a whole lot of flex. I jacked up this side to take the stand out, and the other side is off the ground without a stand. Apparently the back part of this frame is rigid enough that when you jack right here, it will lift the whole back of the car, both sides. So I gotta say, that's more than I expected anyway. So I'm just going to throw a couple stands back under here, fire it up, and just put it in gear, make sure the diff sounds all right. Because it's a little, like we did the rotational test in the vise, like when we had the third member in the vise, and it was fine. I put it in the back of the car, I brought it here, I put it in, and now it's stiff. I had to use a pry bar on the studs to try and spin the axle shaft so I could get all the nuts on the retainers in. So I'm just going to, like I said, throw a couple stands under, throw it in gear, make sure it sounds all right. If it's all good, then we'll set it down and we'll set the front end down. Well, everything tested good. So I think it's ready to go for a drive, but that'll probably be tomorrow. I've still got to run back to work, take that oil pail and stuff back because it doesn't fit in the car. And I'm going to throw a few things in the washer at work, like my drain tubs, so that they're clean to take. And I have a bunch of stuff I need to grab from work, but I don't think I'm going to grab it till the end of the day tomorrow. But I started packing over here, and then I have from the gas jug here all the way to here that has to go in the trailer. So it looks like a lot, but honestly it's less than I packed last year. It's about half what I packed the year before that, and the first 2 years Stephen and I took an enclosed cargo trailer with almost everything in the shop. So this should be okay. So yeah, tomorrow after work, I'm gonna load all my tools up from work that I'm gonna need, and I'm gonna head out to Josh's, and I'm gonna grab the trailer, and I'm gonna throw the car on the hoist. I'm gonna double check my engine mounts, because I can't remember if I nut and bolt checked the engine mounts or not, so I'll do that. And I have a new fuel level sender for it, but of course nothing is easy. It has a different connector on it, so I'm going to have to change the ends of the wire, put one to a ground source and put one to that, or at the very least change the O-ring on my stock one and have no gas gauge. But I would really like a fuel gauge, so I'm going to try and put that one in and hopefully it'll work. Josh might have to just deal with panel gaps when we're at the miles, because they're still horrible. And it's because everything is not quite square at the front. It needs to come up a little more at the front, but it kind of is what it is. And then the only other thing I'd really like to do is I'd like to get the trim back on the bottom of the car, just so it doesn't look as bad. Like, I mean, the whole car is pretty rough and rusted along the quarters and along the rockers, but it'd be nice if it didn't look quite as bad. And I might have to take this piece out when I race and then put it back into drive, because it keeps my quarter panel from flexing as much. But yeah, I think I'm going to run to work, do a couple little things, and call it a night. I may or may not take this around the block or over to the arena parking lot and do a couple circles just to break that diff in and make sure there's no funny noises. But yeah, pretty happy with that. I've only got maybe 2 hours worth of work in tonight. And I'd say 45 minutes of that was just figuring out what I'm going to take, consolidating into boxes, and preparing that kind of stuff. And my boxes aren't even full this year yet. They probably will be after I put the tools in them tomorrow. But for now, honestly, they're pretty good. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow, probably the end of the day. Well guys, here we are. We're back out at Josh's. And I just lifted the car up. I haven't even looked around it yet, or underneath it. So let's take a peek and see what we can see. My oil filter might be leaking a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Power steering is leaking for sure. I don't have time to fix this, so we're gonna hose this off before we race. That's why my speedometer was being erratic. The wires are melting. So I gotta zip tie. Oh, you guys can't see anything. This was touching the exhaust, so we're gonna move this up here and zip tie it and have a look at that wire. That solves that issue. I wanted to check my engine mounts, make sure I got them tight. And yes, they are all tight. Good. I didn't feel the engine rocking around, so I figured they were. Now, I don't see any leaks on the transmission. Maybe a little bit out of the output seal. Same thing there, we'll just hose the underside of the car off. Ooh. Oh, that's all. Trying to figure out what it was all over the exhaust here, but that's all the melted undercoating from when I did my welding. And I thought I could smell gear oil. And there's a little bit on both sides, but I think that's just from when I had the axle shafts out here yesterday. So, diff's nice and hot because those gears are basically breaking in again. So, that's probably why I could smell the diff a little bit, but anyway, I have a new exhaust, or not exhaust, sorry, a new fuel level sender to put in, and I need to rewire the ends of that one, or of the plug. And look at that, I was wondering I could still smell so much fuel, and my I was curious whether it would seal the in-tank pump would seal against the tank, because they just kind of give like a foam, and it sure enough is leaking there. You can tell by the fact that the undercoating is all just liquefied. So what I'll do is I'll try and tighten those bolts a little bit, but short of that there's not much I can do to try and fix that leak. So I'll try tightening those bolts, see if I can get that a little bit. We'll do that fuel level sender. And yeah, I think I gotta put some trim on, little things like that. And we'll see if we can't get this thing ready to go for Sunday. Josh is showing me where we're gonna put the turbo for next year.
We'll see.
Yeah, look at that. Look at all the space for boost.
There's a lot of space.
Like, you don't need a battery here. You put your battery in the trunk. You could put a big turbo here. Like, let that 460 do some breathing. But I mean, we would be comfortable.
Probably got factory 4-link.
Yeah, and it'll be a factory 9-inch. And it has a 2-inch receiver in it.
Maybe we can make it lift the tire.
I doubt that. I think there's a little too much weight out front for that. But like, look at where the engine placement is, Josh. Like, it's farther back than mine.
Well, there's 2 feet between the rad and the front of the car, so.
And it's even got the powered by Ford valve covers.
She's a rod.
Bet you it's cheaper to build than the 390 was.
Bet you it is.
He's insisting I sit in it because it's truly built for comfort with a pillow top leather seats. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're
I mean, the seat is 2 inches from the dash, but
well, I'm sure it slides back.
God, this thing's in immaculate condition. And 8 tracks, and if we could make the 8-track player work with your quadrasonic tape, I'd totally be in. Oh, and the sunroof.
Factory electric.
Factory electric sunroof. Oh, and look at all the dirty old butts in the door. I like the cushion.
The door that is 6 feet long.
Yeah, it's a 6-foot door. Probably weighs about 8,500 pounds.
The car or the door?
The door. Automatic headlights too.
Oh yeah.
What year is this thing?
She's a Lincoln. Don't get better. I don't know.
Hang on, we got registrations. Oh, here's the VIN tag. Found the VIN tag.
76. April of 76.
C6 automatic too.
Well, yeah.
We knew it with 460, but
That's behind a big block.
oh, and it's got the power antenna switch.
Yep. This one's not quite as nice as the green one is, but
I like this better than the green one. I think it's a cooler dash.
it's not as optioned up
Oh,
as the green one.
I don't know. White leather with red trim.
The green one was newer.
White leather with red trim is pretty high option to me.
It is. Well, it's sporty.
And opera windows.
This is about as
The interior is in better shape than mine. Like, your C-pillars aren't like peeling.
Well, this is like ultimate luxury sport malaise.
Sport? There's no sport about it.
What do you mean? It's a coupe.
Yeah, it's a Wheezy 460.
It's a coupe with a sunroof and a white interior. This is sport. Oh fuck! I forgot I was wearing my super fucking 80s hat.
So not only does it have all those dirty butts and a cigarette lighter in the door, it's got 2 in the door, and they're both full of dirty old butts. That's class. They were smoking 4 wide in this thing.
Yeah, this is...
That was the smoke rolling. It wasn't coming off the tires. It was coming out of the cab.
This is the car that should have been in Miami Vice.
Yes, this is... I think this has to be Miles of Mayhem 2026.
We have to see if I can acquire this car first.
Well, it's here. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Just tell Billy we got to make sure it runs good.
Yeah.
And we will make sure it runs good. Okay, we made it back from Josh's place with the trailer. Pulls the trailer like it's not even there. Of course, like you'd expect, it's got a truck engine. But I do have one bolt. I can hear it smacking on that weight on the drive shaft. There's a bolt on the drive shaft safety loop that's touching a weight on the drive shaft, so I'm going to have to do something about that. I'll probably do that Sunday morning before we leave. So I'm going to get the trailer loaded up, and then this thing will be ready to go. And that's it for this video, guys. I will catch you in the next one, which should be us leaving in, well, 2 days. It's Friday night. Us leaving Sunday morning for Miles of Mayhem. So I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram. It's @BarkleyBuilt. Bye.